All right, shalom, shalom to Nation of Israel. Back at it again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shah. Now, before we start this lesson, I'd like to give all honor, all praises, all glory to Yahweh Bashem Shah, Bashem Kakadash. Shout out to the elders, the elder apostles, and elder bishops that we will. Salutation to the fellow Akim who labeled the apostle doctrine, and to the men, women, and children that sincerely believe. To you, I say shalom. Now, I'm going to show this quick video, right, that I watched here. This brother. So, what inspired this lesson was I watched this brother here. As you see, I never been on his brother's channel, so this is the first time I'm actually seeing any of this brother's videos. And his channel was Lightbringer 144K. And the brother that I do camp with, he sent me a testimony that this brother was doing about how some brothers, you know, he had a dream. Well, I would recommend you watch the video itself to get the full details. But as the titles, you know, as his title suggests, you know, some brothers didn't make it. You know, some brothers wasn't approved, right? And they was pleading their case, as he's going to explain in the video. You know, men that was a part of GMS, and, you know, that he did, you know, that was part of GMS, you know, some brothers didn't make it, and they was pleading their case, right, trying to get approved, and they just didn't. So I just want to leave it at that because I don't want to botch it up. I'd rather you watch this video. I highly recommend you, Akim and Akwaf, that's tuning into this lesson, to watch this video, because this video really put a fire in me, man. It really put a fire in me, and it just motivated me, because, like I said, I've been slothful, I've been lazy, and I haven't been diligent in doing my videos. And when I seen that video, it just made me, you know, it motivated me to be more proactive, you know, to do the work, because I wasn't, you know, I was just being lazy when it came to doing the videos, you know. And just overall, you know, just looking at myself, just falling into laziness, just being lazy. So that video helped me, it motivated me to start doing the work, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be in that situation where, you know, you make it to the end, you go through the trenches, and you know, you walking through the mud, you going through the trenches, excuse me, and you make it to the end just to find out that you're not approved, and then you pleading your case, you asking Lord Yahweh Shah, you begging, you know, the men that he set up to approve you, right? And you like, man, I did the works, and I was in the, you know, I did what I was supposed to do. I was going out the camp, I was professing your name, like, you pleading your case, but, you know, you're not approved because the Spirit of the Lord is not on you, you know? And you don't want to be that. You don't want to make it to the end just to find out you're not approved, man. Just to find out you're not approved. So let me play this video. And then we'll get into the lesson. The title of this lesson is, You Have to Do What You Have to Do. You know, do the work. So I'm going to play this, and then we're going to pull out a couple precepts. It's short, so Lord willing, it's edifying.
But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing. Know what you gotta do. Do it. Do it. Now you're gonna have to go through hell. Worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed. But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing. Know what what you gotta do. Do it. Do it.
Excuse me. So you've seen it there first. Excuse me. So you've seen it there, right? So you had Rocky trainer, right, telling him like, hey, you're gonna have to go through hell, but you know what you gotta do the work, basically. And Rocky, with that training montage that you've seen in the video, that was Rocky training for a fight. How much more us, right? We have to do the work. We have to do the work and do what we have to do. That's the point. You know, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how tough it is, the point of that video was to show you like, hey, we got to do the work. You know, we still have to do the work, man. We still have to do the work. And you want to do the work to receive salvation, because if you're not doing the work, then ultimately, you know, your chance of salvation is slim. You know, you have to do the work in order to, you have to do the work in order to stay in this thing. Now, salvation is through election, Salakia. Salvation is by the elect. So that's the Lord's choice, right? That's Yahweh Shemawashah's choice on who the elect is going to be, who the ones that's going to receive salvation. But in order to stay in this walk, you have to do the work. Because if you're not doing the work, then eventually you're going to be replaced by somebody else. Okay? And Lord will find a replacement for you. And you don't want that to be you. So you have to do what you have to do. And this brings me to the book of Acts, chapter 2. Because you don't want to be replaced. Okay? Let me see if it's Acts 3. Yeah, so it's actually here. This is Acts chapter 1. I started the point in verse 23. And they appointed two, Joseph called Barsabas, who was surnamed Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed and said, Thou, Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, which knoweth the heart of all men, sure what of these two thou hast chosen. Now they was basically trying to find out who was going to replace Judas Iscariot's lot in the ministry, because obviously Judas Iscariot, being the son of perdition, he basically, once he got the money, right, he took that bribe to betray Yahweh Shah. You know, he felt guilty about it, and he ended his own. He deleted himself. So now they appointing these two men, right? Joseph, or Barsabas and Matthias, right? They trying to find out who of these two men, right, is going to take Judas' spot, regardless of like walking in the ministry, because, like I said, that was a vacant spot that needed to be filled. Okay, excuse me, verse 24 says, and they prayed and said, Thou Lord, which knoweth the hearts of all men, show whether these two thou hast chosen, that he may take part of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judas by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place. Right? Because Judas Iscariot, you know, like I said, he wasn't physically there no more. So they needed a replacement for him. Okay? They needed a replacement. So that's why they had Joseph and Matthias or Barsabbas, right? And Matthias, they had them two to try to fill in his vacant spot. So verse 26 it says, and they gave forth their lots, and a lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles. Okay, so the point of this account is to show you that, hey, the Lord, if you don't want to do the work, right, or you get stagnant and lazy and you stop doing the work, the Lord will replace you with somebody else. That's the point of this account. The same way how he replaced when Judas Maccabeus wasn't there and it was a vacant spot and he had Matthias come in his place, the Lord could do this, doing the same thing with all of us, man. You don't want to become stagnant and lazy to the point where now the Lord is going to replace you with somebody who's willing to do the work. Okay? And that brings up this account. Matthew 25, and we start at verse 13 because we're going to read about the parable of the talents. Starting at verse 13, this is our Lord speaking because it's in all red. So it says here, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. So the talent symbolizes different measures of faith, right? You might have a brother like the elders and the elder apostles. They could push 5 videos. You know, you might can only push out 2 videos. I'm speaking about the men, the brothers, right? You might have like the elders and the elder apostles. You know, they could push out 5 videos a day. You could probably push out maybe 2 videos or even 1 video. You know, whatever is was the ability that the Lord gave you, whatever wisdom that he imparted onto you, you know, you have to use it, you know. And just like the brother said in his testimony, don't think that, loosely paraphrasing his words, right? Don't think that what your contribution is significant, because you have a part to play. You have a role to fulfill, you know. And all you need to worry about is just fulfilling that role. You know, don't doubt yourself and say, oh, well, what if this lesson, or what if this video is not good, or what if this lesson is not good? Don't think that, man. You have a role to fulfill, and fulfill your role, you know, because we're like a body. We all are different parts playing our fulfilled assignments. And when one part, and this is, you know, loosely paraphrasing his words, you know, when one part of the body is not working properly, like you speaking about a car, like if one part of the car is not working properly, then the other parts have to compensate. It makes the other parts of the car work harder, loosely paraphrasing, you know, or the other parts of the body work harder because they have to compensate for that lack of for that weak or missing part. So So, you know, you don't want to be that situation where, you know, the engine light is telling you, okay, this part is messed up or this part is missing, and then, you know, it does, you know, and then it gets replaced. You don't want to be replaced. So you do what you have to do, okay? You fast, you pray, you do what you got to do. You know, ask the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, to stay in the spirit and to and to keep oil in your lamp, you know. But that was just the brother was speaking about, you know, body and using the car as a point to say you don't want to be that weak link that's replaced. Loosely paraphrasing, you know. So you just want to praise the Lord that He keep His Holy Spirit on you, that He keep oil in your lamp, so that you can continue to do the work. Because if you're not doing the work, just like we read in Acts the 1st chapter, you know, your spot is going to become vacant and then you're going to be replaced. You don't want that to be you, man. You really don't. You really, really don't. Trust me. You don't want that to be you. You don't want to be replaced. You know, because the Lord will easily find somebody that's willing to do the work if you're not willing to do the work. So continuing on, it says, and unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. So he did the work. The one, much is given, much is required. So the one that had the most wisdom, right, that the brothers that the Lord imparted a lot of wisdom to, they went out and what? They taught, they did the works. They used that wisdom that the Lord gave them. They did the works, man. That's the point. And they gained souls in the process, you know. They gained the brothers that had a lot of wisdom, you know, and that was doing the works. They gained members of the elect in the process, you know. But the point is they did the work, okay. They wasn't stagnant. They wasn't lazy. They did what the Lord told them to do, which was to push His word. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. So even a brother like myself who don't have much wisdom, you know, and only have a little, even with the little that you know that you have, you know, you still have to do the work with. You know, you still have to apply it and use it. Okay? So even brothers with little wisdom, that they don't have a lot of wisdom, they not as deep as other brothers. They don't do 5 videos a day. You know? Maybe it's just 2 videos a day, maybe a video a day. You see? But they doing the work. All right? And also too, where it says here, where it says, and he also gained other 2. You know, you want to grow in this thing, you know, and those are members of the elect, man. Because by doing the work, what did the Lord say? He said, loosely paraphrasing, you know, shine your light before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So we are the light of the world. So by us doing the works and shining His wisdom, right, proclaiming this wisdom, showing the wisdom off, is going to attract the elect. The elect is going to see it, and then they're going to believe and ultimately be sealed. You know? So our job is to shine that light. It's not to hide that wisdom, but to shine it out, to expose it, you know, to show it off. And this only applies to the elect men, because obviously to the few sisters that believe, that's sincere, they shouldn't be teaching, because those are the ones that's teaching, that's trying to break down scriptures and teach this word and do lives, lessons and stuff like that, and try to break down scriptures. Those are wicked sisters, man. Those are the wicked servants. They going off. Those sisters is wicked, man. And they not going to make it if they continue on that path. All right? So this only applies to the elect men, because only the men are allowed to teach this word. Okay? I didn't say have it, because the Akim and Akwaf, you know, we have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But only the Akim, right, the men are called, right, are assigned to teach, to break down this word, to rightly divide the word of truth. They're given that ability. They're assigned that task. It is not every Akim, right? It's only those who the Lord assigned to break down, to teach the word. Because not every brother is assigned to teach the word. You know? Some brothers have other duties to fulfill. Some brothers might be friends of the prophets, you know? Like, everybody has their own ability, you know, and some brothers, like I said, it may not be their ability to teach. But whenever the case, whatever is your ability, whatever the Lord assigned you to do, you have to do the work. And yes, sisters, you have an assignment too. You're not just sitting here looking pretty and doing makeup, you know. You have to examine yourself, right? To get rid of that old man and to ultimately, you know, be a better, you know, person for the body. And if you have a man, and this applies to the sisters that have men, they have to, you know, learn his tune, so to speak, you know, learn how to play the song how he likes it, you know, if you with a man, whether he's a man of the Lord or not, which means you have to be, if you have a man, for the sisters that's in the truth, that have men, whether that man is Salakia. So yeah, you know, those sisters will have to, you know, basically, like I said, appease to their man, you know, whether that man is in the truth or not, because that's their duty as sisters that's in the know, that's the sincere sisters that's believe, right, to serve their man if they have men. And if not, you know, to be, you know, just a better person for the body overall, you know. Continued on, but the point I'm making is whether you the Akim or the Akwaf, if you're in this truth, we all have assignments, we all have a duty, we all have a role that we have to fill, and we need to fulfill that role, or else we're going to be replaced. You know, that's the fear, is you don't want to be replaced by somebody who's willing to do the work that you're not willing to do, right? Continuing on in verse 18, but he that have received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckon with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought, verse 20, and so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 more talents more. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You see, because he did the work. He did what the Lord wanted him to do. Okay, that's why the brother that have that, whether you know, that brother that has much wisdom, much is given, much is required. He did the works that the Lord gave him to do. That's why he's telling him, that's why the Lord is saying here, well done, thou good and faithful servant, because he was faithful in the assignment that he was given, and he did what he was supposed to do. It says, and his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Right? He said, and that's dealing with salvation, man. The kingdom of heaven. Why? Because he did the work. He got into the kingdom because he did the work, man. He was in the right spirit and he did the work. Okay? Verse 22, it says, he also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. You know? So even the brothers that had a little wisdom, they still applied it and did the work. Even with the little wisdom that they had, they still did the work, or the little measure, or the little faith that they had, right? Because the person with the 5 talents represent a brother or an individual that has great faith, you know, and the person that has the individual that has 2 talents represent a person that has a lesser degree of faith than the brother that has the 5 talents, you know, that don't have as much wisdom, or their faith is not as great as a brother with 5 talents, but they still have faith nonetheless, right? And in this verse, the Lord is saying, like, the brother with the 2 talents did the work. Let's read it again, verse 22. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. So whatever measure of faith that he had, even the brother that had lesser faith compared to the brother with the 5 talents or the person with the 5 talents, that brother or individual still did the work. They still did what the Lord told them to do, right? Verse 23, his Lord said unto him, Salakia, his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. All right, so the joy, again, the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because they was in the spirit, right? They was in the right spirit and they did the work. They did the work, okay? And ultimately, they was of the elect. I'm sorry, Salakia, for the interruptions, but Salakia, verse 24, it says, Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man. So Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is serious. He's austere. He's not playing with nobody, right? Continuing on, it says, I knew thee that thou art hard, that I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, thou hast that is thine. Right? So like the elders say, you don't want to be a knacking ninja, right? A person that's hiding the wisdom, that's not doing the work. Like you know what to do, but you're not doing it. You know, I'm knacking ninja. You know the scriptures, you have some understanding. Whatever your measure is, you have the understanding of the knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, but you're not using it. You're not, whether using it or teaching it. You just, if you called to teach, right? If you're called to teach, you're not teaching it, and ultimately you're not applying it. You just hiding it. You're just hiding that wisdom, right? You're not making it public. You're just hiding it. Okay, you're not shining that light that the Lord gave you, whether it's bright or super bright. Whatever the case it may be, you're not shining your light. Verse 26, it says, his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. So that usury means interest. So basically what the Lord is telling the servant that didn't do the work, like, hey, look, I could have given your talent to somebody else who was willing to do the work. You see? I could have given your measure of faith, your wisdom, right? The wisdom that the Lord gave to that individual to somebody else who was willing to actually do the work. You see? Verse 28 says, take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which have 10 talents. You got, which means what? That person that didn't do the work got discarded, man. He got basically kicked out of this thing. You don't want that. You don't want that. That individual, whether it's a man or a woman, but they didn't use what the Lord gave them. They didn't use that measure of faith or wisdom. They didn't use it. Okay? They did not use it. Verse 29, it says, for unto everyone that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. Right? Because much is given, much is required. So if you, the person that has abundance, because he's doing the work, more is going to be given to him. But to the individual that's not doing the work, right? You have the knowledge and understanding. You have a portion of faith, and you're not actually doing the work. And guess what? That wisdom and faith is going to be taken away and given to someone and given it to the individuals that are doing the work. Right? Verse 30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So in other words, that individual ain't make it, right? They got destroyed. The one that didn't do the work didn't make it. So it's important, it's imperative that we do the works, you know? Yes, our salvation is based on election, but to stay in this ministry, to stay in this walk, you must do the work, man. You have to do the work. All right, I go to the point in verse 21. This is Matthew 7:21. It says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. So the Lord is speaking about Yahweh Shah, those that know the name, right? So not every brother is going to make it. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. Not every brother's going to make it, man. You just don't want it to. You just hope and pray that it's not you, man. That you make it to the end. You know, that the ones that's in your camp is standing beside you make it to the end. But the fact is, not everybody's going to make it, man. And this is where we got to serve the Lord in fear and trembling. And I ended up with that verse. Verse 22, it says, many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. So they trying to plead their case to the Lord, like, hey, look, you know, we did the work. You know, we basically did the work. We cast out devils, right? We rebuke people on the streets. You know, we did the videos. We went to camp. You know, we did the lessons, the sit downs, right? We anointed brothers. We prayed over brothers. We prayed every day. Like, you know, they're going to make their case. They're going to be really trying to make their case, man. And then, in verse 23, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. See? So that knowing knew you, which means that they wasn't of the elect, man. Even though they were doing the works, they wasn't in the right spirit, man. They were doing all the works, all these works, but they didn't have a relationship with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Because they said, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Work iniquity, man. So that's going to be the false prophets. Okay? That's going to be the Israelites camps that's going off in the doctrine. And that's going to be the brothers that's lukewarm. See? That, okay, you're doing the works, you're going to camp, you're doing the works, but you're in a lukewarm spirit. You're not in the right spirit, man. You're doing iniquity behind the scenes. All right? So, and when you in front of the brothers in camp, you know, you seem like a regular brother, but in your personal life, you act like a ninja in the world. Like a ninja. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is looking at how you are amongst the body, how you interact with the body, and how you behave amongst the body, and also how you behave in your own personal life. Because you could behave right in front of the body, right? You eat good, you eat clean, right? You dress well, right? You know, you could you a good orator, you speak well, you read well, right? You go into camp, but in your personal life, when you're out away from the brothers, you know, you just a ninja. You know what I'm saying? You weren't kept, you weren't clean. You know, you just eating all type of foulness. You know, you not acting right. You know, you may not be doing your sit down lessons, your sit down videos. You know, and you just completely going off. So the Lord sees that. You know, remember Jeremiah 16:17, he says, beholding my eyes their iniquity, seeing both the evil and the good, loosely paraphrasing. So the Lord sees everything you do in the dark. So brothers may not see it, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua sees it. So we're ending with this verse here. So it's important to not only be right, not only behave well in front of the brothers, but you ultimately, you got to behave well in your own personal life, because that's you, that time when you're away from the brothers, just between you and your how about shot. So so you gotta conduct yourself rightly as well. That's going for myself first, man. Because it's not like I've been wicked, but I could do way better. Like starting with my diet, right? How I keep myself. I wasn't doing nothing evil, like not no drugs or abusing alcohol, things like that. But I just knew that for myself, there are ways about me that was acting like a ninja. For example, like the way my diet, my diet wasn't good. Just eating. Sometimes you get the munchies and you just eat whatever. Or not keeping yourself clean, not keeping yourself kept. I've been guilty of that many times. Even now, not just doing what you supposed to do. Just been watching videos and shows, man. Entertainment. Not doing what you supposed to do. Being slack with lessons. So that applies to me first for anyone else. Philippians 2:12, we ended off here. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as you have wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So, hey, you gotta look at it like this. If Yahweh Shah is with us in spirit, all right? Yahweh Shah is with us in spirit. He's not physically here. Because, he's with us in spirit. So, if you would, right, excuse me, Yahweh Shah is not with us. He's with us in spirit. So we have to do the works, and be on point, right? Because if we could physically see Yahweh Shah, or we'll be terrified, because obviously he's not coming back as a man. But my point is, now that he's not here physically, but he's with us in spirit, we have to lock in even more. This is what the scripture telling us, right? To lock in, to be more on point, man. All right, to work out your own salvation, okay, with fear and trembling, man. And the fear and trembling comes from the not knowing if you're gonna make it, not knowing if you are approved by Yahweh Shemal Shah, if you're gonna be approved or not, man. Because you could make it to the end just to find out that you haven't been approved. It could be a situation where, like how Moses was with the promised land, he made it all the way up to the promised land, but he wasn't able to enter in. You could make it all the way up to the end, and then you don't get beamed up. You don't get beamed up on them chariots, man, and you left behind. You pleading, you begging the Lord, you making your case, calling the name, and you ignore it. You don't want that to be you. So, just like going back to the Rocky video, we have to do what we have to do. Simple and plain. We got to do what we got to do. So, Lord willing, I hope this was an edifying lesson. We give all honor, all praises, and glory to Yahweh. B'Shem Yahweh Shah, B'Shem Kadash. Till next time I say, Shalom.